Today we're heading to one of my favourite breweries in the whole of the UK, if not the world. Yes, it's Deya and their Big Loose Plan. It's an IPA, but what's it going to be like? Keep watching to find out. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. Quite excited today because I'm having another beer from one of my favourite breweries, Deya. So this is their Big Loose Plan. It's in this Snakes and Ladders themed can. Big 500ml can, which all Deya beers are in. This says it's a Big Loose Plan is an IPA utilising mid-fermentation dry hop. Simcoe Cryo in early doors, followed by Big Secret and Idaho 7 to bring it home. Expect pineapple, grape and dank sherbet lemon. Sounds brilliant. Percentage-wise, it's not very clear what the percentage is on this. Oh, 6%. That says right there. 6%. Yeah, so I'll put it that way around, 6%. So let's crack it open, get it in a glass, see what it's all about. I'm really excited about this one because it seems like a while since I've had new Deya, and this is one of the new ones this month. And I'm just hoping it's going to be up to the normal sort of standards. Beer in a glass. Yeah, I mean it's got a yellowy orangey colour, almost like a sort of, I suppose it's almost like a light peach colour. 2 fingers, pretty much ice white, highly compacted head. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's as sort of custardy as some of the beers are, but it's certainly got a nice colour, and although not as probably as thick looking as some of the others, yeah, it's still hazy as hell. So let's see what it smells like. Oh, it's really juicy, really juicy. There is a lot of real sweet sort of tangerines, pineapple, citrus fruits. Oh, it smells really good. It's one of those sort of beers where the aroma is just sweet enough to make you really want to drink it, gets the taste buds going. So let's go. Cheers, everyone. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of sweet orange satsuma sort of flavours in this. Passion fruit. It's a little bit of subtleness in terms of a bit of pineapple in there as well. It's very light. It's not as creamy as a lot of Deyas. It drinks a little bit more like a sort of a pale ale almost than an IPA. Yeah, there is a sort of, it's funny, you read stuff and you think, oh, am I sort of told what I should be tasting? But there is that sort of almost sherbety, lemony, citrus fruit flavour in there on the back end. And there's a little bit of earthiness in there as well. It's quite light though. It's a little bit lighter than I expect. It's a 6% IPA. A lot of their sort of sweet spot IPAs are about 6.5%. It tastes a little bit lighter, a little bit thinner in the body than normal Deya beers, but it's really juicy and fruity. And as I say, it's that refreshing. It almost drinks more like a sort of a double dry hopped pale ale, really. Really nice and refreshing. Yeah, oranges, passion fruit, sweet. There's a little sweetness in terms of orange, not really sort of bitter, big oranges, real little sweet oranges. Passion fruit. A little bit of subtleness of pineapple. Then you're going into sort of big citrus, lemons, limes, even a bit of grapefruit, a little bit of earthiness as well, which I'm presuming is the Simcoe Cryo, which can bring that little earthiness about it. But it's a very good beer. I don't think it's up to the sort of usual Deya standards. It's not quite up there with things like Into the Haze or even the Something Goods that we've had, quite a lot of those that we've had, and other recent beers from them. This is a little bit lighter, a little bit more refreshing, but very drinkable. It's still good beer though. It's still a good beer. I mean, most beers are good from Deya. Yeah, not bad at all. Let's get some scores. Okay, the scores are in for Big Loose Plan IPA at 6%. Yeah, it's an interesting one in terms of, I don't think it's quite up to Deya's high standards. I really love the can artwork, and I was expecting it to be, you know, the normal sort of IPAs and them sort of creamy, quite sort of thick, you know, in terms of the body, but it's a little bit different than the normal type. So let's go through the scores. Well, firstly, aroma. Well, this is a reasonably high score because as soon as I popped it open, real sweet, juicy aromas were sort of filling the room. Really, it's a very sort of bright, light sort of smelling beer, but the key thing with it is that it's got that sort of aroma that's sweet that just really gets the taste buds going. I think that's a really good thing. So I'm giving it 14 for aroma. Appearance wise, well, it's a really nice coloured, sort of orangey, peach coloured. We've got literally a sliver of head there, and some nice lacing of the glass. It's a little bit lighter than most IPAs, but I still think it looks pretty good. 8 out of 10 for appearance. Flavour wise, well, the aroma, there's a lot of sort of sweet orange passion fruit sort of flavours. There's also a little bit of pineapple, and then that sort of gives way quite quickly to some sort of quite sharp citrus fruits, lemons and limes. There is that sort of sherbet, sort of earthiness in the back end as well. Sort of, I mean, it says here pineapple, grape, and dank sherbet lemon. I'm not really getting the grape in there, but I'm getting the sherbet lemon with a little bit of sort of earthy bitterness, I suppose you would call it, which isn't bad. It just rounds the beer off. It's nice to have a sort of beginning, middle, and end in terms of beers. A little bit disappointed with the mouthfeel. It's a little bit thin. It's a little watery. It's not as creamy as a lot of Deya IPAs usually are. Whether that's just because it's a little bit low on the ABV, but yeah, it's not quite as good as the mouthfeel as a lot of Deya beers, so I'm going to mark it down for that. I'm giving it 33 for flavour. It's still very good, but I think it's because Deya standards are so high that it doesn't quite get close to a lot of the other Deyas that I've had, certainly in the IPA sort of arena. So 33 for flavour. Value for money. Well, it's always great you get a big 500ml can. That's brilliant. This was just under a £5. I think it's pretty good. I'm giving it a solid 8 out of 10. Overall experience, yeah, there's a lot going on in this beer to sort of really analyse. There is that sort of sweet juiciness on the front end. Then that sort of gives way to a little bit more earthiness, a little bit more citrus fruits. There is that sort of dank sherbet lemon, more earthy than dank, I think. But, you know, whether you could say dank and earthy was the same sort of thing. But there is that sort of dry bitterness really on the back end, that earthiness. I think that's the Simcoe Cryo is really sort of, you know, really quite dominating, you know, in that flavour on the back end. Disappointing more about the thinness of the body, really. It's not as creamy as usual Deya. So my overall experience, I'm giving 13. It's still a good beer, certainly a solid beer, but it's not as good as usual Deya beers. And the scores totaled up are 76. So still recommended, still a good beer, but there's a lot of better Deya beers out there. Recently, I had the glue from them. I didn't review it because I'd reviewed it before, but I bought it and it was really, really good again. That's still really good. That's probably one of my favourite Deya beers. Into the Haze is a very, very good Deya beer. There's something good ones have been very good. And I've had other ones which I can't remember. Better Days, that was another one that I had that was really good. They were more creamier. They were just a little bit more fuller in body. This is a little bit less so. So maybe they're trying different things, and maybe that's why. But I've got another Deya that I probably will drink, and it's a pale ale. But yeah, I always like to have the odd Deya every month because they do make you generally good beers. So 76 out of 100, still recommended, but you know, it's not up there with the sort of 86s, 87s that we've had before for Deya. So I hope you've enjoyed this beer. If you had this before, let me know what you think of it. Have you had a Deya beer recently that wasn't as good as normal? Or have you had a Deya beer that's like, wow, this is the best thing they've brewed for a long time? Let me know in the comments because I'm really interested because I do love Deya. I think they're a really good brewery. So that's enough for me for today. And until the next one, you know what you're going to do. Like and subscribe and keep on rocking.